We are in Job together today, chapter 13 this time. So we had chapter 12 last week, as well as finishing actually chapter 11 as well. But 12, 13, and 14 are all Job speaking. About halfway through, he changes his target. So he's speaking to Zophar and I guess the whole collective of the friends. But verse 18 together today, we will see him begin prayer. His target shifts to the Lord himself. And it will continue all the way through the end of his speech at the end of chapter 14. So we've got about a chapter and a half of Job's prayer here. I call it prayer because anytime we're talking to God, it's prayer. It's Job's defense, right? He's claiming to be innocent of all this. He's claiming to have a case before the Lord, and so he's bringing his case. But that's where we're at. We got to see some of Job's rebuke of his friends last week. We get a little more of that today before we get to that prayer. So any questions on where we're starting? So catch up on the context. All right. Well, somebody want to start us in then?
13. Behold, my eye has seen all this, my ear has heard and understood it. What you know, I also know. I am not inferior to you, but I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to argue my case with God. As for you, you whitewashed with lies, worthless physicians are you all. Oh, that you would keep silent, and it would be your wisdom. Hear now my argument, and listen to the pleadings of my lips. Will you speak falsely for God and speak deceitfully for him? Will you show partiality toward him? Will you plead the case for God? Will it be well with you when he searches you out? Or can you deceive him as one deceives a man? He will surely rebuke you if in secret you show partiality. Will not his majesty terrify you and the dread of him fall upon you? Your maxims are proverbs of ashes, and your defenses are defenses of clay.
All right, we've got that little invisible break there. Okay. Thank you. After verse 12. So, the end of chapter 12, verses 13 to 25, Job was glorifying God, speaking of his ways and how he would deal with sinful man. And so he starts chapter 13 building on that to say he's witnessed it. He has seen with his own eyes the works of the Lord. He has learned with his own ears the mighty things of God. Some of that would be true. You and I would say the same, right? That we've seen some of the ways the Lord works. We've gotten to enjoy learning the good things that God has done for us. Verse 2, Job's quoting himself from earlier. If you go back to chapter 12, verse 3, I am not inferior to you. You'll see that same exact set of words before. Same speech. He hasn't stopped. He said it again. This one's a little bit softer because, as we joked about last week, he phrased it, everybody knows that. Not quite the same phrasing here. Just a comparison of just the four guys that are in the room. Again, maybe Ellie who's there and he's just off to the side. We have no idea. We'll just call it four for now. But just Job and the friends. We know the same amount. You and I, we're in the same spot. Verse 3, speaking to the Almighty is good. We call that prayer. Right? That's the first half. How about the second half, though? How many of you want to try and argue your case before God?
Sounds like he's going to court.
Yes, absolutely does. Which of us could stand?
None of us. Nobody.
That's, yeah. Psalm 130, verse 3, if you, O Yahweh, should mark iniquities, O Lord, who could stand? We've got that one in the liturgy. You're used to hearing it, right? But with you there is forgiveness. So Job, again, begins arguing his case with God in verse 18, so we'll get to that today. Does he win that case? You've been through the book before. He doesn't win the case, right? The Lord is going to firmly rebuke Job from chapter 38 through 41. Study Bible on verse 3 said, Job's sense of suffering unjustly is so deep that he wants to argue with God. In this, he was not and is not unique. When confronted with hardships, we all have a tendency to think we are getting a worse deal than we deserve. That's the sinful nature deceiving us, because we know what we deserve is death for our sin. So there's no such thing as a worse deal than what we actually deserve. But we convince ourselves otherwise. Verse 4, other lexical translations for whitewash included besmear or plaster over. So the picture is trying to cover something up. Like if that wall right behind Joyce was just covered in mold, instead of handling the mold, we just paint it white, give it a fresh coat.
Bleed right through.
It will. I don't know if it'll take a week or a month, but it'll be there. It'll be there because you didn't actually take care of the problem, right? And that's part of this accusation that we have here, that deadly decay is still there. And so then he uses second clause, right? Worthless physicians. The physician that doesn't deal with the root of the problem, like the painter that doesn't take care of the mold, he's only treating the symptom. He's worthless to his patient. The patient's not actually going to get any better. And in this case, you